Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. The NFL rumor mill is buzzing, and it's all centered around a potential blockbuster trade that could shake up the NFC North and give the Green Bay Packers a real shot at elevating their offense to another level. The buzz comes from some credible sources like ESPN's Adam Schefter and NFL insiders, suggesting that the Cincinnati Bengals might be considering parting ways with wide receiver T. Higgins. And the reason? Well, it's a combination of their current roster needs, salary cap constraints, and a desire to focus on youth and rebuilding their offensive line. The Bengals, currently sitting at 5-9, are well aware that their secondary has been a liability this season, allowing an average of 260 passing yards per game in 2025. Their defense has struggled to contain opponents, especially through the air, and it's become clear that they need to make some strategic moves to get back into playoff contention. The idea circulating is that Cincinnati might be willing to part with Higgins, a tall, athletic receiver known for his contested catches and ability to make big plays down the field, in exchange for a first-round pick from the Packers. Now, let's talk about Higgins himself for a moment. He's a player who, despite injuries, has been putting up some serious numbers in 2025. He currently has 80 receptions for 150 yards and 9 touchdowns. That's no small feat, especially considering he's been sidelined for 2 games due to a knee injury sustained in Week 4. When healthy, Higgins is a mismatch nightmare, a tall, leaping target who can go up against defenders and come down with contested catches at a rate of 58%, which is impressive for a player dealing with injury setbacks. His yards per reception sit at an impressive 14.4, and his yards after catch average is around 5.5 yards, placing him in the top 7 among wide receivers this season. Across his career, Higgins has amassed over 500 receiving yards and 32 touchdowns in just 70 games, with only 6 drops. His red zone presence is notable, with about 40% of his targets coming inside the 20-yard line, exploiting mismatches and creating scoring opportunities. The Bengals are aware of his talent, but their current cap situation, with Higgins' $24 million salary weighing heavily on their rebuild plans, makes a trade more attractive. Plus, Cincinnati is prioritizing building around young players and bolstering their offensive line, focusing on picks and prospects that can help them in the long run, rather than paying big money to a receiver in his prime. From the Packers' side, this potential deal is huge. At 9-5, Green Bay is still battling for playoff positioning, and the addition of Higgins could be a game-changer. With the wide receiver core becoming more diverse after Watson's injury and Christian Watson himself battling injuries, the Packers are looking for someone who can step in and immediately make an impact. Higgins, with his height, route-running ability, and knack for big plays, fits that bill perfectly. He could add a new dimension to the offense, especially in the deep passing game, which has been a point of focus for head coach Matt LaFleur and quarterback Jordan Love. Let's break down what Higgins could mean for Green Bay. His size and contested catch ability would open up the field for the entire offense. Imagine how defenses would have to adjust if they had to account for a receiver who can reliably win 58% of contested catches, especially when they're trying to double-team Watson or Dubs. Higgins' addition could lead to an increase of over 200 yards from scrimmage, and his presence alone could raise the Packers' EPA per pass attempt to around plus 0.29, which is a significant boost. His ability to win mismatches and create big plays would allow Love to throw more confidently downfield, increasing completion rates by around 15%. That's a huge gain in a league where every yard and every touchdown counts. Statistically, Higgins has shown he can be a true vertical threat. His separation rate of plus 1.6 yards per route run and his 18% contested catch success rate demonstrate that he's not just a possession receiver. He's a game-changer who can stretch defenses and create space for others like Romeo Dubs and the emerging tight end, Tucker Kraft. His impact on the Bucs in 2023 was similar to what Mike Evans brought to Tampa Bay. And that kind of production is exactly what the Packers need to elevate their aerial attack. Now, from a strategic perspective, acquiring Higgins would be reminiscent of the Jordy Nelson days, a receiver who not only makes big plays but also elevates the entire offense. It's a move that could push the Packers into Super Bowl contention territory, with odds jumping from +1.0 to +450 if Higgins joins the team, especially with the playoffs looming. Imagine him lining up against the Bears' secondary in the postseason, where the Packers could exploit weaker coverage and turn those opportunities into game-winning plays. His presence would also boost the win probability in aerial battles by approximately 18%, giving Green Bay a real edge when throwing the ball. Of course, there are some hurdles. Cincinnati's asking price is likely a first-round pick or a similar high-value asset, and the Packers would need to weigh that against their draft capital. Plus, Higgins' current injury status adds some risk, but early reports suggest he's trending toward healthy and ready to contribute. The Packers' front office, led by their savvy GM, could see this as an opportunity to acquire a proven playmaker at a relatively reasonable price given the potential upgrade. The deal could also free up cap space for other needs, including extending Jordan Love's contract and reinforcing the defensive line, especially after recent injuries to players like Kenny Clark and Preston Smith. Looking at the bigger picture, this move could redefine the Packers' offensive identity. With a weapon like Higgins, LaFleur can diversify the playbook, calling more deep shots and creating mismatches all over the field. It would be a signal that Green Bay is all in for another playoff run, perhaps even a Super Bowl push, especially if they can secure that extra firepower to compete with the best in the NFC, teams like the 49ers, Eagles, and Cowboys. Of course, the Bengals are cautious. They're considering their options carefully, knowing that trading Higgins might weaken their offense in the short term. But the upside in draft picks and cap flexibility could set them up for a brighter future. They're also focused on bolstering their offensive line, which remains a priority, and might prefer to allocate resources there instead of paying the premium to keep Higgins long-term. Their odds of winning the Super Bowl at +15.0 reflect a rebuild mode, and they are more focused on accumulating draft capital to retool their roster rather than making a quick fix. But for the Packers, this is a golden opportunity. They're already in the thick of the playoff hunt, and adding Higgins could be the final piece to push them over the top. His ability to create explosive plays aligns perfectly with Love's strengths as a passer, especially when throwing deep. It's a marriage made in football heaven, a receiver with a high ceiling who could be the missing link in the offense that has already shown flashes of brilliance this season. All of this adds up to a very exciting possibility, one that could change the course of Green Bay's season and set them up for a deep playoff run. This trade, if it happens, would echo the impact of big moves like Jordy Nelson's arrival years ago, revitalizing the offense and giving the team a new level of threat that defenses will have to respect. It's exactly the kind of bold move that Packers fans have been dreaming about, and the kind of move that could define this era of Green Bay football. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. So what do you think, Packers fans? Is this the kind of move that can propel your team back to the top? Do you believe Higgins can be the game-changer Green Bay needs to secure another Super Bowl appearance? I want to hear all your thoughts. Drop your comments below and tell me if you're excited about the possibility. Remember, this is just the beginning of what could be an incredible transformation for the Packers, and I'll be right here bringing you all the latest updates as things develop. Stay tuned, stay passionate, and as always, go Pack Go!